welcome back to Love Co with Lo. Today we are going to continue on with Unit 1 focused on what mindfulness is, and today we're specifically focusing on being mindful of our bodies. This means that today we're going to be doing some yoga, which is all about connecting with your breath while moving your body. Before we get started, let's say the affirmation for this unit together, which is I am mindful and always returning to this moment. Let's say it together now. I am mindful and always returning to this moment. Today for this practice, you might be at home or you might be in a classroom setting. So if you're in a classroom, let's talk about what that's going to look like. Our number one goal with practicing yoga, especially in a classroom setting, is that we are safe. So we're not going to be doing multiple poses in a row. We're just going to do one pose at a time. And it's really important that when you practice it, that you're focused on yourself and your own breathing and you're not distracted by anyone around you. So before we get started, let's make some promises together for how we can be safe while we do this. The first one is I promise to find my own space away from friends I may be distracted by. Now, yoga can be a lot of fun to do with friends. I love practicing yoga with my friends. But while we're learning how to practice yoga and we're learning how to connect with our own breath and our own bodies, and for us to be safe, it's really important that we aren't sitting by anyone who's going to maybe distract us or make us be silly. So when you're picking a spot for your yoga today, make sure you know it's a spot where you can be safe and where you can be focused on just your own body and your own breath. The second promise is I promise to be mindful of myself and no one else, since my yoga practice is only about me. Kind of like what I just said before, this practice today and all of our yoga practices in this series are going to be focused on your breath and your body. So really practicing on tuning into yourself and tuning out of any distractions around you. And the last promise is I promise to breathe through every pose so I can stay connected to how my body is feeling. You can take a minute here to either say these promises together as a class, or you can write them, or you can just read them over yourself. Now, a lot of people think that you need a yoga mat to practice yoga, but that couldn't be more untrue. While it is great if you have a yoga mat so you can create your own space and it creates a comfortable spot for you to practice yoga on, it's not necessary, especially in the classroom where you might not have a lot of space. I want you to imagine that you're inside of an imaginary box and no one can come into your box and you can't leave your box while we're practicing yoga. This will help you keep safe and stay in your own spot. Let's hop into my virtual studio and get started. Let's begin by sitting back on your feet, placing your hands on your knees, relaxing your shoulders, and taking a breath in and out. On the next inhale, separate your knees and reach your arms forward and rest your head on the ground. Wiggle out your shoulders a little bit, just moving the body gently, side to side, and then find stillness. As you breathe in, visualize your breath traveling into your back, and as you breathe out, relax your fingertips, relax your shoulders, and relax your forehead, staying connected with your breath. Inhale and exhale. Slow breath in, slow breath out, slow breath in and out. Now lifting your head, slowly rising back up to a seat, dropping your head left and right, and then placing your hands on your heart, checking in with how you're feeling here in this moment. Now give yourself a smile and thank your body for all it does for you. All right, friends, that's our first pose in our yoga series. I hope you enjoyed moving your body with me today and you were able to really pay attention and be mindful of how your body and your breath felt. Remember, the goal of yoga is to be connected with our own breath and our own bodies. And we use the breath and we use movement to do so. It's always good after you practice yoga to check in and ask yourself, how am I feeling right now? How did I feel before I started practicing? How did I feel during? And how did I feel after? As with anything with mindfulness, reflection is a great tool so we can continue to learn and grow. It's also good to reflect on how well you did with following the promises that you made today for safety. I want you to give yourself a rating on how well you were able to follow those promises and be mindful of just yourself. So just silently in your head, give yourself a rating of a 1, meaning I could have done better. A 2, meaning I did pretty good, but there's improvement for next week. Or 3, I was mindful and safe and I followed the promises well. Just take note of that in your head so you can set a goal for next time. I'm so glad you joined me today, and I can't wait to see you next time. Bye!